The last frost means, that you're able to plant all your flower bulbs after it happens. So the last frost was last night, meaning that from now on, it's just going to get warmer and warmer and warmer.
Really?
Like
they know
night.
that?
That's just how it goes. That's what they know.
But who decides when the last frost
I think so,
is?
like the earth does.
Okay,
and
but how do they communicate that to us?
I think like averages over the past years and like.
Oh, okay.
Like
so
that.
the weather people.
Yeah.
Some might say the weather boy.
Some might say, wouldn't you like to know?
Weather boy.
So you're excited for the summer then?
Don't know if I'm excited for the summer. I'm excited for the sun. Because like, I don't know. I just, I like waking up when it's still like when it's sunny out, and I like having it be sunny after I'm off work.
That is the thing that really gets me going. I used to be, I love the shortest day of the year. I love the wettest and the coldest day of the year kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think I was in my like emo era.
Well, I was the same way.
Yeah. And all of a sudden I think getting a big girl job and having to work until like 6:30 and getting off work and it being pitch black really better out than in, I always say.
I just watched both the Shrek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I started the third and I was like, I don't want to do this.
I don't know if it's a hot take, but the second Shrek movie is the best.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The I Need a Hero by the Fairy Godmother. Dude.
Apparently I heard somewhere that that soundtrack is like the best soundtrack in the world.
Well, you heard it here first. Because it is. No, in fact it is. I look up her singing. Oh my God. Dude, maybe having Diet Cokes and doing a podcast was a bad idea.
Okay, we'll do a burp count.
Okay, are we at 2?
Yeah, you, me.
Yeah.
I'll clip a little burp counter.
But yeah, no, I like will literally look up on YouTube Fairy Godmother. I Need a Hero.
Which she's singing on the piano.
Dude, it's so good.
Maybe I'll be the fairy godmother for Halloween.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would be.
Shrek. Donkey. You could be Gingy. That
with
works.
my gun drop, but my gun
Your
drop.
gun. Not the gun.
I could be Puss in Boots. Just be naked. Just be naked and then wear boots and a hat. And then maybe I'll touch some whiskers. Perfect.
Ew.
I'll just dye stripes into all of my baby
You have to wear
fuds.
a belt too with a little sword because that's what he wears.
Oh, perfect.
Because he's
right,
technically
right.
naked too in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I love the new Puss in Boots movie. Sorry.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched it like 3 times.
What? I haven't watched it.
We could watch it together. It's like
Dude,
the animation
crazy
style
for that.
is perfect. It's like very similar to Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I
very
like
up my
it.
style. It's up my alley, I guess. You know,
Up your style.
if I may.
If you may. You may.
If I even it's up my yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yes. Son, I went on a walk today at lunch and called our friend. And then I can say her name. We've said her name before.
Sage?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I called Sage and that was nice.
Yay.
But it has been raining still.
Yeah, it's been.
So it's been like sunny, but then also been rainy still.
Yeah. But the blossoms are going to start popping up soon too, which I'm really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend and I went to a nursery, not for babies, for plants.
God, can't be babies, please. I can't.
Yeah, we went to a nursery and we were trying to pick out which baby we wanted. We picked out some flowers and I walked past this like little cherry blossom that it was just starting to blossom.
Cute.
It was so pretty. I was like, can we please? And he's like, that's $200. I was like, but it's really cute.
$200 for a plant. I just like $200 just to get to kill something, in my opinion. Because like all my shit's dying.
Okay. I'll give you my green thumb. I'll send it in the mail.
That's all right. I don't think I want it. I think I'm fine.
It might die by the time it comes.
No,
to
truly, probably would. I would somehow kill it in the mail.
That's true. Okay, you know what I did last episode that like tripped me out was I lifted one of my ears of my headphones to listen to what it sounded like, and it like it's actually
This is actually not good.
it's crazy.
No, I don't know if I like.
Isn't it weird?
I hated that. I actually feel really warm now. I might need to. What?
Isn't this just crazy? Ear reveal. Ear reveal. If you never knew what we looked like without headphones on, this is what it is.
It's the same, but a little bit less. Welcome back to the Wouldn't You Like to Know podcast. I'm Cat.
I'm Asha.
And today we are going to be unraveling. Well, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to unravel.
Because I have two different stories.
Perfect.
Like one of them isn't relating to said DCs.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hint. And if you follow us on the socials, you would have seen a little hint in our post from a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic post.
Yeah. We're hyped up right now.
Yeah.
So, okay. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm sitting. I want to know how many people know this story because I kind of thought it was like common knowledge. But you had no idea about it. Mm-mm. And neither did Brandon. Mm-mm. So that was my pool of research and nobody knew. So AKA 1 in 3 people know. And I'm the 1 in the 3.
1 in 3 of your people.
My people. And I feel like you guys should be the people who knew about this.
Yeah, well,
like you're kind of interested in this stuff.
And sometimes I don't know things. A lot of times I don't know things. So I'm excited to...
That's becoming clear.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you to... Wouldn't you like to know to me?
Yeah. It's like you didn't know that you needed to know this, but now you're gonna know it.
And it's gonna unravel by your feet.
Yeah, or in my hands.
Yeah, out of your hands. Onto my feet.
Yeah. Well,
I might step on it.
I'm gonna stay away from your feet.
I might step on it.
Okay, cool. Well, you can do that. You do whatever you want.
That anyways. So sassy. All right, you can do that.
All right, so get locked and loaded. I know that... Was that locked and loaded?
That was me. That was good.
I don't...
Dude, we have not used those buttons in a hot second.
Bummer. Absolute bummer. So... I don't really know how to prepare you for this. Okay. I will say it's not a silly, goofy story, although it has been a silly, goofy opening. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to spoil it.
Vibe check? Vibe switch?
But vibe switch might be like chill out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so like don't match the energy I'm coming in with right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But or you could.
I love your energy, so I always want to match it. But
all right. Well, here we go. So, get settled. If you're doing laundry. Yeah, hell yeah.
Which I know you probably are.
Yeah, you're probably doing laundry. I know that somebody out there is. If you're in the car, maybe take a deep breath. Maybe make sure your seatbelt's on. Buckle in. So.
No, actually, drive faster and close your eyes.
Nightmare. So. On September 28th, 1982, Marianne Kellerman, a 12-year-old from Elk Grove Village in Chicago, complained to her parents about a sore throat. To ease this pain, her parents gave her Tylenol, the leading over-the-counter painkiller in the USA. Little did they know that mere hours later, Mary would be hospitalized and later die from this one pill. The next day, in surrounding areas, more deaths began. Adam Janis, a 27-year-old postal worker from Arlington Heights, Illinois, started having some mild chest and neck pain. He decided, like many do, to take a Tylenol to ease this pain, only to collapse in his home and be dead before the paramedics arrived. Later that day, Adam's brother, Stanley, 25, and Stanley's wife, Teresa, 20, returned home from the hospital after Adam's death. Not yet knowing the cause of his death, they both took a few of the very same pills because they were complaining of a headache, something that's frequently felt after losing a loved one. They both died shortly after. Over the next few days, 3 more deaths occurred in Chicago and surrounding suburbs. 35-year-old Mary McFarland, 35-year-old Paula Prince, and 27-year-old Mary Weiner, all taking Tylenol for seemingly minor ailments poisoned by the very thing they took to ease their pain. A nurse, Helen Jensen, sent to investigate the Janice's death, the 3 people from earlier, noticed a bottle of Tylenol in Adam's home. After a quick sniff, she smelt the faint smell of almonds, a dead giveaway for cyanide. The pills taken by all the deceased were laced with cyanide, a deadly toxin that can kill in small doses. With the help of law enforcement, health officials, and universities, Mayor Jane Byrne was able to pull all Tylenol off the shelves in the area within 48 hours of Mary Ann passing. It was this action, along with the action taken by Johnson & Johnson to recall the Tylenol, seemingly tied to the deaths, that saved countless more lives from this poisoning. First, assuming it was a bad lot number, MC2880 was recalled because both the Janice's and Mary Ann's bottles of Tylenol were from the same lot number. However, they then found that the pills Mary McFarland had were from lots MD1910 and MB2738. Knowing this, the recall expanded. But the chance that those specific lots were targeted seemed unlikely. They then looked into the locations of production, finding that the pills were produced in completely separate warehouses. They then traced the pills back to stores in the Chicago area, where they were all bought only a day or 2 before their use. This led police to their hypothesis that the pills were laced at the store level, with someone coming in, opening the bottles, and putting cyanide into the pills. Along with the bottles that were recovered from the victims' houses, police found even more bottles that were laced but not yet used.
Wow.
One from a woman who had bought the pills, but then said they had a weird smell, so didn't take them.
Because my like when you were explaining the story, I was like, well, I have Tylenol pills that I had bought like half a year ago, and like, you know, I don't use the Tylenol as soon as I buy it. Usually I'll just buy it to like stock up. So it's interesting that like they bought it, they used it right away, and then they got like sick or they died. What do you know how the cyanide was being like ingested or injected? I mean,
so it just said laced. I think that the pills were different than what we're used to today. I think it was the capsules.
Yeah, the gel capsules,
not the gels, the powder. You know, the ones that you have for vitamins that you can open up. So I think it was something like that.
Oh, so they went in, opened it up, and
I think that's like the assumption. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't know exactly how they did it.
Okay.
But somehow they were able to get enough cyanide in there to kill somebody.
Wow.
And it wasn't in all the pills in a bottle.
It wasn't or wasn't?
Wasn't.
It was only, I was going to say that.
It was like in 1 in 3.
Forever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then in one bottle, I think it was in all of them.
Or maybe this person already had a bunch of Tylenol pills that were laced with cyanide and then just like opened up the bottles and like put some in rather than taking them
none of
out.
the bottles had extra.
Oh, they all had a certain amount?
They all had the amount they would have assumed. Like, okay, so they bought it yesterday. They died. The pack came with 50 and there's 44 in there, or like 48 in there. So like they, you know.
Okay.
Specifically for the Janice's, the one bottle they had like bought that day or a couple days before, and there was only 44 pills left. So they had taken 2 each. Extra strength.
Wow.
Yeah. They were hurting. In an effort to catch the individual, the responsible for the murders, police decided to bait them by releasing the address and grave location of the youngest victim, Mary Ann. Police hoped that the murderer would show up to visit the site, like they so often do. With a 24-hour surveillance on the location, the killer never came. However, John Lewis would ultimately spend 12 years in prison for sending a note to Johnson & Johnson, the owner of Tylenol, asking for $1 million to stop the killing, seemingly claiming responsibility for the crimes. However, he never admitted to the murders and stated that he only sent the letter to embarrass his wife's former employee by having the money sent to the employer's bank account. So the husband, John Lewis, sent a ransom note effectively to Johnson & Johnson saying, send me $1 million and we'll stop the killings. And apparently he did this only so that he would have them send the $1 million to a bank account that was in his wife's former employer's name, and then his wife's former employer would like get in trouble.
Well, that's so petty.
Also, like, really?
Yeah, what?
Okay.
That's super
Also,
strange.
you're either really dumb, because like, what is that about? Or you're the pettiest person ever.
Yeah.
Or you're really bad at lying, because like clearly you just wanted ransom and you did do it.
Yeah, what?
And you're just like, you
That's
totally
super
just
strange.
outed yourself to like a crime you maybe would have never gotten caught for.
That's super weird.
Super weird.
So is that like 100% proven that that's the guy, or is it just like it was just happened to be a man that sent a letter out?
He denies that it was him, but a lot of people think it was him. So yeah. He's the only one suspected.
Huh.
It's never been like solved.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the mysterious and very saddening story of the Tylenol cyanide murders. If there is a silver lining to be had at all, it would be that the steps that Johnson & Johnson took as a company to ensure public safety, with operating with a complete transparency and warning all hospitals and distributors immediately. Johnson & Johnson also released their triple sealed bottle shortly after this in response to the murders, which in return changed the standards for today and protected God knows how many more lives from a careless, hateful act of violence.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So I remember when you were explaining this story, I assumed that it was something to do with the manufacturer, something like got mixed in.
No.
To think it was like someone that was doing it maliciously is crazy.
Yeah, no, somebody like went into the store in Chicago and like was putting cyanide pills into the Tylenol. Like, they could not. I mean, who knows? Maybe they who knows? Maybe they did have a target.
Right.
But like, you have to just,
how do you can't control the outcome of something like that.
No. And so like, you know that you're gonna get a bunch of random people and innocent people and like a 12-year-old. Like, all these people are so young.
What year was this?
1982.
Okay, so I was gonna say, I wonder if they had any security cameras they were able to check.
No, they were only able to see one woman, I think it was Mary McFarland, if I'm remembering correctly, was followed out of the store by a bearded man. And they didn't get his face, but they did suspect him of being the murderer.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
But like, you don't know if they're going to take the pills soon, just like you said. You don't know if they're going to be the only ones who take the pills, because like, pills are shared within a family, obviously. Right. And you don't know how many other people are going to be like buying this, because it was multiple pill bottles over multiple different stores in Chicago. It wasn't just one store. So they like targeted a lot of stores. So they really just like kind of threw out poison and were like, hey, somebody will get it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's just,
what an interesting like way to go about like killing people. It's more so of just the, like, you know, I wonder if it was like a screw you,
thrill of like a power.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
and I think
crazy.
it's like the idea of like playing God.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I have control and like nobody can stop me. And like, if it's not John Lewis, nobody could. Like, they didn't get him, because like, how do you catch something like this?
Yeah.
And
so
like,
pill bottles are like, you said at the end that they're like triple sealed now.
So from what I could like look up, I was trying to look up at like Tylenol bottles in 1982, and from what I could see, which I'm not like certain, it was in like a cardboard box that they come in, and then it was just the bottle that you need to line up the lid and then pop off, and there's like nothing else. Whereas now we have like a seal around, or the triple seal, I believe, was the seal on top of the lid, like that like aluminum seal, the lid, and then it was also sealed with plastic wrap, and then it was also in a box.
Yeah, because when I bought naproxen, it was in a box, and then the bottle came. It had that lid that you have to like press down, like the child lock lid, and then over top of the bottle to like get into the pills was like a lift here.
Yeah,
and
so I don't think they had that before.
They sometimes have like a cotton ball inside
to like make sure, for moisture. Yeah, no. So I don't think they had that peel off or anything. Yeah. But I did see in the photos, because I could look up actually on the timeline of Johnson & Johnson. They were like, our 1982 bottle that we released that's triple sealed, and it had that plastic wrap around the lid.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it looked like before it was just like, you literally could just pop it off.
What a specific crime. That's so crazy.
And there were so many copycats.
Oh,
so many copycats.
Yeah.
So like, thank God that like Johnson & Johnson like responded so quickly, because it was insane how many people and passed away from the copycats too, and like different poisonings. And yeah, it is like a decently easy crime to get away with if you think about it, because like
if you got some cyanide, which I don't know where you could get that.
No, I don't know. I just know that cyanide it's like apple seeds.
Yeah,
but
it's like in apple seeds.
Yeah, but that's not, you'd have to eat a lot of apple
it's like
seed.
50 apple seeds you have to eat. Look it up while I get my chart ready.
Slightly more than 250,000 seeds.
Well,
yeah. So like probably not super easy to do. Oh, and then USA Today says, an apple a day may keep the doctor away, but one viral claim suggests that eating too many apples might send you to the doctor, or worse, the morgue. Damn.
That's like kind of clickbaity, because people aren't eating the apple seeds when you're eating apples.
Yeah. Apple seeds contain cyanide, a post from by a Facebook page. That's always obviously a reasonable source, reputable source.
Yeah.
Facts that will blow your mind reads, eating 20 apple cores will kill an adult, while eating less can result in paralysis, coma, and brain damage. The post was shared with more than 5,000 times, though commenters were quick to question the post's veracity. I always eat my apples with the seeds. Nothing has ever happened to me. I used to eat close to 5 apples a day, one commenter wrote. That's a lot of fiber, dude.
That's so many apples.
And
the whole thing?
That's insane. And then it reads, ooh.
Like, I respect the leave no trace thing if you're hiking and you want to eat an apple and not throw it. But, like, don't eat 5 apples. That's probably at least, like, 20 apple seeds.
Yeah. In humans, cyanide toxicity is experienced at doses around 0.5 to 3.5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, The Guardian reported. The average apple usually contains between 5 to 8 seeds. Apple seeds contain approximately 1 to 4 milligrams of amygdalin. A 2014 study found, but not all that translates to cyanide. So anywhere from 150 to several thousand crushed seeds to cause cyanide poisoning. So if you've ever seen the like, eat a couple apples and you'll die.
Clickbaity.
Now you know.
No, you know.
You didn't know you needed to know, but now you know. And hey, now you know that you can kill somebody with the small price of 250,000 apple seeds.
Well, yeah, damn. I don't know where I'm going to... Do you think in the amount of apples you eat, like from like when you started eating apples to now, you would have that many apple seeds?
I'm going to look it up. How many apples do you think you have in a month?
Me? We have so many apples in my household. It's actually insane.
Okay.
So probably like...
How many apples do you think you have in a week?
In a week?
Yeah.
Like 5.
5 apples a week. So you have 20 apples a month. So you have 20 times 12 a year. And how many years you've been alive for?
How many years have I been eating apples? So
let's just say like 10. Since you're 10?
Oh, yeah.
So...
No, definitely probably since I was like 5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so like 21 years.
Yeah,
oh.
21 years.
You've been... Okay, sure. No, that math works out. So that's 250 apples a year right now. And times it by, sure, let's say 25 years since you were 5. That's not right. 25 years since you were 5. You're not 30.
Not yet, anyways.
240 times 20. So you've had 4,800 apples, and times that by 8 seeds in each apple. You've had 38. That's 38,400 seeds.
So still not enough.
Yeah, not even close. So wait, 250,000 divided by 8. You'd need to have 31,250 apples.
Well, I'm on the track. I'm on the road too.
Mm-hmm. So divided by, like, let's say a lifetime is 80. So you need 391 apples a year to collect that many.
Okay, so that's like probably an apple a day, but like having like 2 apples some days as well.
Yeah. And then you could kill somebody. But you'd probably be pretty obvious because they'd be like, yeah, that girl like collects apple seeds.
She's always at the market buying apples.
She also, her entire garage is full of apple seeds. Oh my God. You know that like question in an interview is like, how many ping pong balls do you think could fit in this room?
I hate that question.
Like how big of a room you would need for 250,000 apple seeds? Like how much room do you think that would take up?
Okay, how many apple seeds would it take for you to be like, that's so many apple seeds?
Like where? Like where would the apple seeds have to be?
Like
what's the context?
like you're like hiking and you come past a field.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's like
okay, wait. I think that if I saw 100 apple seeds, I'd be like, okay, like maybe a bird's collecting them, or like many little animals, or maybe like that's like a bunch of like decomposed bear poop.
Yeah, like shriveled. Yeah, like maybe like rabbit poo even.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm saying like it was bear poop, but then the water washed away the poo, but now it's just the seeds. I'd say like it'd have to be like 1,000. I think anything over 10,000, I would turn around. Because how much do you think that 10,000 really would be? Like, how big do you think? How big of a mound?
Apple seeds aren't dangerous unless you eat them. They're not going to hurt you.
Dude, but you're like, who's collecting these? Somebody's off his rocker. Yeah, no, totally. It's ominous. What would you do? How many apple seeds would you have to see out in a field for it to make you turn around?
That's such a good question.
Dude, it's the question you asked me.
I know.
So, yeah, it is.
That's a really
just
good
pat
question.
yourself on the back there, bud.
Would it be in like a pile?
Yeah. I'm thinking pile.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
Yeah. Wouldn't I like to know?
Wouldn't we all like to know?
No, nobody wants to know what I'm thinking.
I would say at least like it's like 10,000 apple seeds.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Hey, sorry, I'm actually busy that day. So I have to go home.
Like, yeah, all of a sudden, I actually have to go to the washroom, and I can't go to the washroom outside, so I have to go. All
of a sudden, what the heck are those apple seeds doing in a pile?
What the heck? What the heck?
What the heck? Okay. What the heck?
Pause for Brandon.
Wouldn't you like to know? What's up?
We're going to cut that.
No, we're going to keep it in. It's our first guest. Woo! I think like if I were to ask anyone else like how many apple seeds would be too many apple seeds to see before you turn around off your hike, they would be like what?
Literally, what the hell are you
how many apple seeds have you eaten?
Yeah.
Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, is the cyanide like getting to your brain?
See where I go. That's a really good idea. A really good.
That's a really good question.
It's a really good question, Asha.
Okay. Yeah, I want to go now too.
Okay, should I get a top up on my DC?
No, because I want to go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Speaking of DC, if y'all don't know what DC means, it's Cat and I's favorite drink of choice. A non-alcoholic drink of choice.
Drink of choice, period.
Diet Coke.
With a lime.
But sometimes at the movie theaters maybe we could bring our own limes at the movie theater.
Yeah, and also at the movie theaters, caffeine free because we're both sensitive little girls.
And we go see movies like late o'clock.
Yeah, maybe we should go see one tonight. No, I gotta work in the morning.
Me too.
Fuck. Somebody sponsor us. We don't have to work in the morning. I'm just kidding. I love my job.
He gets a new job.
I'm really grateful.
Okay, so Diet Coke, Coca-Cola. Did you know it used to have cocaine in it?
Sure did.
Sure did, brother.
Sure did, brother.
Still does. No, I'm kidding.
Hell yeah. Us being like, it's better for us. It's not better for us.
It's gonna keep you awake. Do you know why Coca-Cola was invented?
Was it like a cough syrup?
Not, kinda close.
Okay.
It was originally marketed as a temperance drink. So let me tell you what a temperance.
I'm locked in, man.
The temperance movement is a social movement promoting temperance or total abstinence from consumption of alcoholic beverages.
Dude, that's what we use it as.
That's what we're.
That's
would
what
you
we
like a temperance drink, honey babe? Yes.
Dude, that's so sexy.
A temperance drink?
Being like, oh, I'm just gonna have a Diet Coke as my temperance drink.
Yeah, it's kind of like we should start that.
Bring it back.
Bring back temperance drinks.
Just like how we're bringing back Unforge.
You are. No, I'm kidding. I am too. I wanted to be like Regina George. Like, you're not good.
You can't make fetch happen.
You can't make unforge happen. So it was also intended as a medicine as well. Kind of. Not necessarily cough syrup, but sort of like a medicine. It was
That was for me.
It was invented by a Confederate colonel named John Pemberton. Yikes. Also, why is colonel spelled colonel?
I've already asked that.
I know. Why though? Hey,
Hey.
who knows? He was addicted to morphine.
Oh, good. Cool.
He also had a medical degree and was on a quest to find a substitute for the morphine he was addicted to.
Okay.
So maybe a healthier version of the morphine?
Like cocaine.
Exactly. He ended up creating...
Maybe try heroin next.
The cocaine to heroin pipeline.
No, morphine to heroin. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I will start listening.
He ended up creating Pemberton's French wine Coca Nerve Tonic, which is my favorite drink.
Is that the OG Coca-Cola?
No, it was an alcoholic drink. This is what he made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The French wine ended up having cocaine used in it because he identified Coke as a safe solution to many conditions plaguing the white middle class. And he found it as a little bit of a better substitute than morphine. So he's like, I'm going to make this really fun drink. I just imagine him making a little potion, and just dumping wine in it, using this Coca stuff. And then just
chef's kiss.
Exactly. In 1884, Pemberton began selling cocaine-laced wine.
Dude, hell yeah, brother.
Oh,
yeah, kill two birds, one stone, and
get
one
two
guy,
birds stone,
and kill one guy. Because you know what that makes in your body? Whole nother drug.
I thought you were gonna say holes.
It's yeah, dude. It makes cocaine, or I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but did you know that alcohol
That's
and
my
cocaine
favorite drag queen
mix? It mixes in your stomach to make a new drug.
Never happened to me, so I don't know.
Neither, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both Coke free and do not support that.
Coke free makes it sound like we were doing Coke and now we're to Coke free.
No, I mean fully Coke free. Coke virgins over here.
Yeah, well, we just have DCs, so we're
Yeah, the Coke, the drug. Anyways,
Okay,
but did you know that it made a whole new drug in your tummy?
No, my tummy.
Your tummy.
No.
Yeah, it's like a deadly drug that it makes in your stomach. But people will drink alcohol and then do cocaine because they're drinking alcohol, and alcohol is a depressant, and cocaine is a stimulant, so it is an upper and downer, and they'll actively do it together, but it's the number one thing you should never do together because it makes a whole new drug when it mixes in your body.
Alcohol?
No, it's alcohol.
Oh,
because
gotcha.
alcohol, all alcohol beverage have the alcohol in it.
Alcoholic beverage have the alcohol in it.
It does, however much it has. So it is a really dangerous substance, and it's really bad for your body, and really obviously bad for your brain. So anyways, I had learned that in school, and that was one of the most interesting things to me, because I was like, people are dumb for doing that. You're not only just you're drinking alcohol, which is obviously it's not good for you. Everybody knows that you're poisoning your body. Okay. And then now you're doing a drug, which is obviously not good for you. It's really bad for your body. And then, I'm going to do both of them together and make something that's worse than both of those things.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's just it's an insane choice to make.
Yeah. Well, and people back then thought that stuff like that would heal them.
Yeah. But if you've made that choice in the past, there's no judgment. I just think like, just be careful and like think about your health.
Yeah.
Because your poor tummy
Know
is
your
gonna
limit.
like be upset.
Yeah, geez, we don't want your tummy to be upset.
I don't want your tummy to be upset.
When Atlanta passed prohibition laws, Pemberton responded by switching gears and creating Coca-Cola, a non-alcoholic version of his French wine cola. Named for its two key medical ingredients, coca leaf and cola nut. Marked as a temperance drink and appealed to many people, it was originally sold for 5 cents a glass and had claims it cured many things like diseases like morphine addiction, indigestion, nerve disorders, headaches, and impotence. You know what impotence is?
It's when you can't deliver, right?
No, it's like sexual dysfunction.
Yeah, when you can't deliver.
Oh, they mean like you can't deliver like a baby.
Well, I mean, in a way, long story short.
Long form.
Long form. That is also right.
Coca-Cola was an immediate hit at soda fountains, and after Pemberton's death in 1888, the brand continued to grow under the leadership of his new business partner, Asa Candler.
So in one part of the world, Jack the Ripper was killing people, and the other part of the world, Coca-Cola was being created. Just if we all wanted to, like, you know, kind of think on a timeline scale.
Yeah, the timeline of
if that helps
the
you.
Wouldn't You Like to Know podcast lore.
Yeah. So.
A fun fact, the first bottle of Coca-Cola from way back in 1894 contained about 9 milligrams of cocaine.
Is that a lot?
I was trying to look up how much cocaine is too much cocaine last night, and all the websites were like hotlines like for like drug use. So I just felt kind of like scared. So I was like, they're gonna like, they know that I'm looking.
Your FBI agent is worried, dude.
Yeah, I was like, how much? I was doing like conversions of milligrams, and then it was just like the first one is like, it's like recovery hotline. I was like, damn.
That's fair though.
Yeah.
Like, good on you, Google.
Yeah. Within just a decade, the public's attitude regarding cocaine changed dramatically. Cocaine started to become a little bit more
Faux pas.
yes, and it like racially charged. There was like a big like discussion about how like cocaine used to started to be something that like white people stopped using, and like black people and people of color like were able to get their hands on, and then the white people started like thinking horribly of like the minorities. It was like a whole like just like race war. So that was like a really sad part about it. So Candler fought back against the damage that cocaine's declining reputation did to the brand, arguing that the small quantity of cocoa extract in Coke was merely energizing. He also leaned into an emphasis on the soda as a refreshing and great tasting drink, downplaying its supposed medicinal qualities. By 1929, Coca-Cola was completely cocaine-free. The drink no longer has cocaine, but the brand faced some severe public backlash when these facts were surfaced. So it just got phased out. And like the coca leaf that they were using, they were using like a wet leaf, had a lot more like milligrams of Coke, and then like phasing it out, they used a lot of like a dry leaf. Still had the same flavor and same taste, but it just it didn't have like the potency of the amount of cocaine. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So here's the journey of Coca-Cola in a brief.
Okay,
The
love
earliest
this.
batches from Pemberton's time containing 9 milligram of cocaine per glass. Candler's formula contained only a tenth of this amount. Coca-Cola stopped using cocaine from fresh coca leaves in 1903. Now only spent coca leaves, I'm assuming, which is like dried leaves, were used, containing only trace amounts. In the 1920s, public pressure grew to remove cocaine from Coke, prompting the company to remove all the addictive substances from the formula by 1929. Mark Pendergrast, the author of the book God, Country, and Coca-Cola, that sounds like a fun book, claims that only 2 people know how to mix the 7X formula correctly, and neither of them can travel on the same plane in case it crashes. Yeah, isn't that kind of... I thought that was kind of a crazy fact.
That's like the Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah, if you think about it.
No,
is.
it totally is.
If you think about it, there's so many like of those like secret formulas with like brands and restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like so secret. It's like to their grave kind of secret.
Well, yeah, because like you can't, if you publish it, like obviously it'll be stolen, and you can patent it, like put a patent on it so nobody else can use it, but those expire.
Oh, yeah.
So they would be expired and then any company can use it and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
That's so crazy,
He
dude.
further states that the recipe is secured in a vault and carefully passed down as a ritual from generation to generation.
It's literally the Krabby Patty
Yeah.
recipe.
Coca-Cola is the most popular beverage in the world, renowned for its unparalleled quality and taste, which I agree. There is no definite answer as to whether Coke has cocaine, which a lot of like sources I saw were like, it doesn't have cocaine. But then a lot of sources that I did see were like, well, if you think about it, the ingredient that was used had like cocaine included in it. I think it was just people like, it wasn't like they didn't just sprinkle like Coke into the drink.
Oh,
I think they
it
were
was like
it was actually came from like a plant.
Yeah, well, that's also how cocaine is made. So.
Yeah.
And a little bit of gasoline.
And a little bit of gasoline. One thing we do know, we all love Coca-Cola and we can raise a glass to that. Okay. Your baby.
Thank you.
Cheers. I love a nice DC. Okay. And then the last thing, what are we at for time? Okay. The last thing I want to talk about
Dude, we're crushing.
is just grow your arms longer, why don't you?
Dude, I'm trying, man.
Is radium. What do you know about radium? Tell me what you know about radium.
It plays my favorite music.
That's okay. That's the radio.
What? It's a miracle cream that.
No, don't read my freaking notes, you weirdo. Get out of here. Stay away. A miracle cream was launched in Paris in 1933.
Dude, that did something to me.
Paris. Titled as a scientific beauty product, it promised to improve circulation, firm muscle tissue, reduce fat, and smooth wrinkles.
Oh my god.
It was part of a line of cosmetics called Thoradia, after thorium and radium, the radioactive elements that it contained. Today, no one would intentionally smear radioactive materials on their face. I would. But in 1933, the dangers of radioactivity were not yet fully understood. This mysterious new form of energy, discovered by French physicist Henri Becquerel in 1896, had become imbued with mythical powers.
Ooh.
Before people started to fear radioactivity, all they seemed to know about it was that it contained energy, said the associate professor of radiation medicine at GU. It's a university. It doesn't even matter. There were implications that the energy would help your teeth if they put it in toothpaste and give you a glowing expression if they put it in facial cream. But there really wasn't any science to that to show that it was true. Soon after its discovery, radioactive beauty products were hitting the shelves. The creams didn't work as advertised, but that didn't stop Thoradia Cosmetics from becoming popular. Its full range of products all supported to unleash the benefits of radioactivity, including lipstick and facial powder, as well as ointments, soap, suppositories, razor blades, energy drinks, and even condoms. Crazy.
That's really scary.
Yeah. When the first radioactive consumer products were launched in the early 1900s, radioactivity was a brand new field of science. Becquerel was credited with its discovery, but the term radioactivity itself was coined by French scientist Marie Curie. That rings a bell, right? Marie Curie? Yeah. In 1898, the same year she discovered radium. Medical practitioners found out early success using radium and X-ray imaging, and consumer brands tried to capitalize from radiation therapy's reputation. X-rays and other forms of radiation and radium are being used in medicine to treat a variety of diseases, said a health physicist. Radioactivity, when used properly by someone who knew what they were doing, could cure cancer. Like
chemotherapy.
Yeah, chemotherapy. We still use radioactive sources today, although not radium, to deal with cancer. It was so popular in the consumer market that many products claimed to be radioactive, even if they weren't. Yeah. I found there's a bunch of photos, which I'll put up on the Instagram or on our stories, of like all of these old beauty products. And like
Is that radioactive?
Yeah. Or like the
packaging.
Packaging. Really
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's not, or yeah. Radium was so popular in the consumer market that many products claimed to be radioactive, even if they weren't. It was like saying, I have a gold credit card. It's not actual gold. It's just the gold that conveys the idea of value, something that's important. And radium was like that back in the day. But radiation has a destructive effect on the human body, obviously, and must be targeted at cancerous cells. Like, only, really. The idea that putting radioactive elements in everyday products would have beneficial results turned out to be a catastrophically incorrect assumption.
Yeah.
Other kinds of products meant to be ingested proved lethal. A popular one was Radithor, an energy drink consisting of distilled water and tiny amounts of radium dissolved into it. Boldly advertised as a cure for the living dead, which is like kind of a hard, like, it's like liquid death, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that they could have.
Yeah.
It promised to tackle various ailments from diabetes to sexual decline. It is unclear if other deaths were linked to Radithor, but that may be due to its price. It was simply too expensive for most people to purchase on a regular basis. In the mid-1920s, radium watches became a style marker. Wearing the watches didn't carry much risk, but the factory workers who made them glow suffered terrible health risks. Yeah, because I guess some of the watches would like glow. There's like a little button that you could turn on it with glow.
Yeah.
Applying radioactive paint to the watch dials was a delicate but painstaking task that was considered women's work. These radium girls, as the workers came to be known, were instructed to keep the brushes pointed using their lips. Like, over time, they started to suffer from a condition called radium jaw, as repeatedly ingesting small amounts of radium caused necrosis of their bones.
That's really sad.
The final blow came in 1938 when the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act outlawed deceptive packaging, making it harder for most radioactive products to promote their outlandish claims. By that time, the general appetite for such remedies had already begun to subside. The few brands that survived, including Thoradia's Miracle Cream, did away with the active ingredients, entirely making the products radioactive in name alone.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously those products aren't around anymore.
That's just crazy that both those products, though, like, they were pushed. Well, Coca-Cola was pushed to change their recipe based on the public.
Yes.
And then for the radium and stuff, that was just like, oh, you can't put fake stuff on your
it has to be like it can't claim something that
yeah,
it's not.
they didn't actually like it doesn't sound like they made a law to say you can't put radioactive things in products.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't happen. The public was just like, we don't want this stuff. That's just insane.
Yeah. And just like the time frame from learning about radium and like radioactive materials back then, like after the war, was just like, it was taking people like a while to figure out what happened because all the side effects or all the causes just like, you know, would slowly start to happen.
Well, I still think about that with like, honestly, with all our crazy skincare we've gotten since COVID, because everybody was just like locked inside and had nothing better to do than skincare. Like, I still think like, what is too much, you know? Like, how much retinol should we be using? Like, how much of all these serums is like beneficial for our skin long term?
Yeah, totally.
Or is it like deteriorating your skin long term? Like, it's just, I've just been thinking about that. It also, the radium jaw makes me think of the popcorn lung. So we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, it would be interesting to talk like, so,
because that's something a lot of people don't know about, but it's still happening as far as I know.
Yeah, like what it would be cool to talk about, like what's in specific like makeup. Like, there's a lot of like crushed bugs and stuff in makeup, and like really create like
bat poop.
Yeah, bat poop, and like animal fur and stuff used for eyelashes and all that kind of stuff, like mink lashes. Just like really crazy stuff. But our episode today was like really dangerous, poisonous things inside of products that people use
that you might have never heard about. Because like, I don't know, I wonder how many people had ever heard about the Tylenol cyanide poisoning.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like it also kind of is like on the murder side, which is like really interesting. That's not really anything that I've ever heard before. I definitely heard the Coke thing, but my boyfriend actually was talking to me about the whole radium situation, and I was like, oh, that sounds like such a good idea to talk about. And he was also talking about like lead, how there was a lot of like lead in like paint and stuff as well.
Well, yeah, because based on when this place was built, And the fact that like paint's not obviously removed, it's just painted over. When we are drilling into the walls, like we have to be really careful because there's probably lead in the paint that we're like drilling through.
Wow.
So you have to wear masks and stuff.
Did you know that in The Wizard of Oz, for scenes where they had snow, it was asbestos?
I didn't
they were,
know
like,
that.
sprinkling asbestos. Yeah, I looked up online like the 25 top craziest like poisonous things that you didn't know about or whatever, and one of them was like the whole Wizard of Oz set, how it used to like they used asbestos.
Oh my god.
For like it was like fake like foamy packet like kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's like I feel like so many things where they were like, oh, it works perfectly, but then nobody really looked into the health like risks of it, and it's just like, okay, yeah, no, totally. Well, thank you for sharing that. That was so much fun to like learn about. I mean, it's like so scary.
There's like a whole rabbit hole of different things online of like things that used to be okay but like obviously aren't anymore,
and we can dive deeper into them in later weeks.
Let us know if there's any like crazy stories or like any items that we use that like used to be like way more harmful than they are now. On our Instagram or comment on our Spotify podcast. Tune in next week for another fun episode. I'm sure we have something fun planned.
We do have it planned already.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Hey, I would. You should
too.